Many a times we see that some of the goddesses do not come from the perfect background of Vedas or Puranas. For an example, you would have heard of Khodiyar Mata, Zakhai, Mharsai, Banai, or maybe Mohota Devi, Khalubai, and so on and so forth. There are so many, or maybe for that matter, the most famous, the Mariamman or Mariai, coming from certain background which is not compelled to come from Vedas or Puranas. The Indian knowledge base is categorized into three parts: Shruti, Smruti, and Puran. Shruti literally means the heard ones, heard one. The rishis would have heard it from the authorities and taken it into their life, applied into their life, and then passed on further. Vedas are to be considered to be coming from this lineage of knowledge base, that is Shruti. Samhita, Aranyaka, Brahmana, and Upanishada are such kind of narratives which are coming from the source of Shruti. Smruti literally means the remembered one. They are not coming from the lineage of Shruti. They are remembered and taken it ahead into the Indian knowledge base. Smriti also literally means the remembered one. And the third part comes is Puranas. The complexities of Shruti and Smriti, to understand it for a common man, it became difficult. And that is why Puranas came into picture or maybe existence for knowledge base. We could see that these Puranas are stories. They are coming from the pattern of storytelling, because storytelling became more attractive and more simple for human being to understand complex narratives. In numbers, there are 18, and sometimes Puranas are considered to be coming from the lineage of Smriti. Something which is not compelling to be part of Shruti, Smriti, or Puran is considered as folklore, or maybe these stories coming from the folk background. The goddesses which are popular, which are Saraswati, Usha, Aditi, they come from the knowledge lineage of Shruti. Then Durga, Lakshmi, Parvati, these are the goddesses coming from the Purana background. The gods, demigods, and godly figures which are not coming from this background of Vedas or Puranas, such as Khandoba, Jyotiba, or maybe for that matter Masoba, male deities, and female deities Jogeshwari, Yedeshwari, Mohta Devi, Khodiyar Mata, Mariamman, etc. Today we will understand why such kind of folk deities have come into mainstream, and maybe mainstream knowledge for that matter, and we will also see that few of these folk gods or goddesses which are not coming from Vedas, Puranas, Shruti, Smriti, Puranas are Kula Devatas of few people. How is that possible? One would also be surprised to know that there are certain kind of goddesses coming from the Islamic background. Asan Bibi, Chand Bibi, Jaitun Bibi, these are the 7 Bibis, 7 female deities which are coming from the Islamic background, and they are worshipped a large number in Bengal. They are called as Sat Bibi because they are 7 in numbers. Mahisama is one of them, which is very famous into Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Telangana and Andhra. Banai and Mhasai or maybe Mhalsai are two wives of Khandoba which are popular into Maharashtra and Karnataka. There are so many folk deities. Each nook and corner of India, if we'll see, it is some or the other name which is given to this feminine power. we will see the classification of these feminine power. There are certain kind of classification which we can see among these folk deities or maybe deities coming from the people. The first is virginity status. Uh, Whether the goddess is married or unmarried, it is based upon that, and their belief system belongs to uh, uh, that kind of a background or that kind of a deity. The second kind of classification that which we see is on the force. There are certain deities which are subtle and calm. There are certain deities which are fearful and forceful. So the background also we will see among the Kuladevis or maybe Lokadevis based on the force that they project. The third one is place of worship. Certain goddesses are worshipped at the bank of the river. Certain goddesses are worshipped within the sanctum sanctorium or maybe main area of the village. Certain goddesses are worshipped at the boundary of the villages. The next classification comes on the nature of this particular deity. Some are caring while some are fearful, and that is why the nature also bifurcates the belief system of these folk goddesses. One would say, if there are so many gods and goddesses coming from Vedas or Puranas or Shruti Smriti Puranas, then why do we need these additional kind of goddesses? No matter which background they are coming, whether they are coming from Vedas or Puranas or Smritis, or maybe for that matter folklores or folk tales, but then they are part of this belief system. They are part of the society. They are inseparable part of the society and the belief system that has been prevailing within the society. Definitely, when we talk about Indian background, then there are the same people who would be farming for certain kind of period. On the day of Dasera, they will worship the weapons and then go for warfare. And that is what was the background that we see in India. And that is why one side we will see a lot of classification of gods and goddesses which will believe in fertility, care, earthly related things, and the other hand that we see that they are warped or maybe they are forceful and they are fearful. So whenever you want to motivate yourself for care or maybe certain kind of fertility, then there are certain kind of belief systems. Whenever you want to achieve something in the war front, then there have to be certain kind of motivating belief system, and that is why these belief system which brings the deities or maybe goddesses which are forceful in nature, Mahakali, Durga, all these are certain kind of goddesses which will bring you that kind of attitude in you. Even today for that matter, no matter which type of deity or goddess you believe, it is to be considered that they are coming from the origin of Parvati, which is Shiva's half, or maybe which is energy source of Shiva. And when we talk about Parvati, Parvati also has these two aspects in her. One is fertility with the name Gauri, Mahagauri, and one which is going to give you success into the warfare, which is the Durga, Kali, etc. And that is why these folk goddesses which have come, which are coming from various background, may it be Khodiyar Mata, Mariamma, Mhasai, Jogai, Jogeshwari, these are considered to be coming from the Mool Maya, that is Parvati, and these are considered to give that kind of a wish fulfillment, may it be fertility, may it be warfare. Later on, when the success for your farming or war, wherever the belief system has been larger, considered to be the Grama Devata of that particular area. Gram means village and Devata means deity of that village. and later on people started believing that this Grama Devata is a protector for you, protector for fertility, protector for your farming, protector for your warfare, protector for yourself and for your whole village system. These protectors can be within the center part of the village, it can be at the boundaries of the village, or it can be at the bank of the river, depending on the nature of that particular village belief the goddesses have got established. When the Islamic invaders, or maybe for that matter foreign invaders, came down to India, the idol worshipping became a sin, and idol worshipping was taken into forbidden way, and the idols were broken, or maybe many of the people, believers, were not allowed to have these idols uh, uh, to be worshipped. Then how will I project my worship towards the nature? That became one of the biggest question for the people of India, and that is why we see that the formless or shapeless gods would have taken place, or maybe you would see that there are gods and goddesses where there is no structure, a definite structure, or an idol which is worshipped. It is just one stone with some kind of red kumkum, or maybe sindoor has been put onto it, and then it has been worshipped. This has come from the background where I am not allowed to worship my idol, my belief system into idol nature, and I don't want to give up my belief system also. And thus I started worshipping everything, or maybe anything which is coming from the nature, and the most solid thing which is coming from the nature is a stone, and you can take that stone anywhere, you will be able to find that stone anywhere. You just have to apply red color on this thing and it becomes your deity, and you start worshipping for your wishes. That wish can be for fertility or for the success of war. The Grama Devata also has taken the shape of Kula Devata. That means it is a protector of a family clan. For an example, the Bhuval Mata in Rajasthan is considered to be Kula Devi, or the family deity for Chajed and Bharatiya clan of Jain believers. Whereas in south of India, Maharashtra, Mariamman or Mariai is very famous. She is considered to be the goddess of rain. Surprisingly, all these deities are not 100, 200 years old belief system, coming from the 200 or 300 years belief system, but it goes until 200 before Christ. That means this belief system has been getting developed within this whole continent for such a long time, and that is why we would see Vedas, Shruti, Smriti, Puran, Lok Devata, Grama Devata, and then coming into the level of Kula Devata, or maybe for that matter, in some of the places, the Vastu Devata is also considered to be goddess or maybe female energy. Chudasama, Savaria or Rana clans have Khodiyar Mata as their Kula Devi. You would also be seeing that certain Islamic believers also have the Kula Devata. You will be surprised to know that some part of Bengal or maybe some part of Konkan, the exterior would look more Islamic. However, the interior, or there is a pratisthapana or establishment of that particular Kuladevi is also done by some of the Islamic families, and that is why, may it be any form of the god, may it be coming from any background or maybe any classification, it is part of this particular society. It is part of development of psychology, social aspect, and the anthropology of this particular land. That is why we cannot ignore these things. We have to take this as one major part of our life, and then we have to proceed. We have to take the best of the best coming from all these background, imbibe it, take that perspective and move ahead. In Vedas, somewhere it is read Ambitame, Naditame, Devitame. That means you are one, and it is proclaimed to the female energy. It is you are the one who is mothers of mother. You are like a river which is compassionate, which is fulfill, which gives lot of fulfillment. And Devitame, you are just like a goddess. So no matter what form we are doing this kind of a worship of a female uh, power or female energy, let us establish that female energy within us, within our uh, home, within our families, within our villages, within our society, within our country, and within our universe. So coming from the Ishtadevata to Kuladevata to Gramadevata to Jagadamba, and it is going to talk about coming from that small sprout and spreading the entire energy within this whole universe. And that is why we call this, no matter which folk deity it is, we call it with the name Jagadamba. Jagat means the universe and Amba means mother. You are the mother of the universe. Let us worship that Ambitame, Naditame, Devitame.